Streaming live on News8000.com. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. Last few days of November.
Can you believe it?
No, not really. It's going by quite quickly.
It's insane. And before you know it, the new year is coming
I
as
know,
well.
I know.
Yeah.
And then spring, right?
Well,
we got too ahead of ourselves.
We got a few more months until we hit spring.
Yeah, we got to make it through winter, don't
Exactly. Yep. Unfortunately. So, but as of right now, things are looking nice and clear this morning on that satellite and radar loop going around there. You can see some of those snow showers across the Great Lakes. That's moving away from us and not bothering us by any means. Current temperatures are into the 20s. La Crosse is at 20 degrees. Eau Claire is at 22. Winona's at 23. We're seeing temperatures around 11 in Sparta, 13 in Black River Falls, and 19 now in Viroqua and down in Boscobel. Prairie du Chien, good morning. You're currently at 18 degrees. Dog walking forecast here. Clear skies this morning. Sunshine this afternoon. Could see some cloudy weather, though, move in as we head into this evening. And as we head into your planner, we're looking at a mainly sunny day today. Temperatures warming up into the 30s by 11, followed by highs into the lower 40s as we head into the early to mid-afternoon hours between that 1 to 3 o'clock hour there. Could see some cloudier weather here again and moving in by late afternoon into early this evening. I'll have a check on your schoolcast plus another look at your full weather forecast, and we'll time out the details with this next cold front coming up in a few minutes. Alexandra?
Breaking overnight, a U.S. Osprey crashed off the coast of the Japanese island of Yakushima late last night. 6 people were reportedly on board the aircraft when that crash happened. A Japan Coast Guard official has confirmed to CBS News this morning that 1 person was found dead and that 2 helicopters and 6 boats are assisting with the search. There has been no word about the status of the other 5 reported crew members on board the tilt-rotor aircraft. The U.S. military in Japan has not yet commented on the incident, which comes just months after 3 U.S. Marines were killed and several others hurt in an Osprey crash in Australia. We will continue to follow this story and provide updates as we receive them. A Chippewa Falls man will return to court in the new year to face multiple felony charges in connection with a violent January home invasion. 20-year-old Jeremiah Mackey is charged with armed robbery with the use of force, false imprisonment, and substantial battery for allegedly joining another man in breaking into a Chippewa Falls apartment. In court yesterday, a judge ruled there is probable cause to support the felony accusations against Mackey, who prosecutors say acted as a party to the crime. He'll return to court January 31st. La Crosse's former bishop is at odds with the Pope. Pope Francis is stripping Cardinal Raymond Burke of his Vatican apartment and salary. The Pope says the 75-year-old is working against the unity of the church. Burke has been one of the Pope's most vocal critics since 2014. They clashed over Francis's outreach to the LGBTQ+ Catholic community and the Pope's support of COVID vaccines and Catholics divorcing and remarrying. Burke declined to make a statement. Western Technical College students, staff, and parents, a big change is coming your way. Starting this summer, the school is moving from 15-week semesters to accelerated 7-week terms. The revamped schedule will allow students to concentrate on just 2 or 3 classes at a time instead of juggling a course load of 5 or 6. WTC has spent more than 2 years preparing for the shift, revising every class to fit the new 7-week model. There will be 6 intensive terms per academic year, 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring, and 2 in the summer. Today, the Carter family will say their final goodbyes to First Lady Rosalynn, who died last week at the age of 96. Yesterday, the nation got a chance to say its farewells in a tribute service attended by multiple current and former U.S. presidents, first ladies, and other dignitaries. CBS News' Dave Malkoff has more from the former First Lady's hometown of Plains, Georgia.
Today is the 3rd and final day of services honoring the life and legacy of former First Lady Rosalynn Carter. Yesterday, a tribute service was held in Atlanta with all 5 living First Ladies, past and present, in attendance, as well as former President Clinton and President Biden. Former President Jimmy Carter made a rare appearance in a wheelchair after entering hospice care earlier this year. The Carters marked their 77th wedding anniversary back in July. Their children say the former president was by his wife's side in her final moments.
My mom spent most of her life in love with my dad.
A tribute service featured remembrances from their children and grandchildren.
My mother was the glue that held our family together.
And also a performance from husband and wife country stars Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood.
And the world will be as one.
Mourners also lined the streets outside the tribute, some remembering Rosalind Carter as a trailblazer.
This is history right here.
She's a wonderful role model.
Later today, multiple federal and local law enforcement agencies are expected to line the funeral procession route as Mrs. Carter's casket makes its final journey through her hometown to and from Maranatha Baptist Church, where family and friends will attend a private funeral.
And after that funeral, a private burial will take place at the Carter's family residence. The Food and Drug Administration, meanwhile, says they're receiving reports that a life-saving cancer treatment may sometimes cause cancer. The FDA has received 19 of those reports of patients developing new blood cancers after getting CAR T therapy. CAR T therapy removes a type of white blood cell from a patient's blood and is used after patients have received one round of conventional treatment. Cancer specialists say CAR T treatments have saved thousands of lives, and the benefits still outweigh the risks. More people died from suicide in 2022 in the United States than any other year. That's according to provisional data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Nearly 50,000 people died from suicide last year. Men were 4 times more likely than women to commit suicide, but that rate increased among women in 2022. Despite those increases, the suicide rates among children and teens dramatically dropped. If you or someone you know is thinking about committing suicide, call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Flu and respiratory virus season is revving up across the country, and the CDC is now forecasting this could be another severe season. Mandy Gaither spoke with one infectious disease specialist about the new data and how you can keep your family safe.
Across the U.S., flu, COVID-19, and RSV are spreading.
It is that time of year, and we know that all of the respiratory viral illnesses are starting to ramp up.
Flu cases are rising across most of the country, especially in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and South Carolina. While outpatient visits for flu-like illnesses are lower than this time last year, they're still higher than the previous 4 seasons. COVID-19 hospital admissions and emergency department visits are also on the rise again after a few weeks of decline.
I was in the hospital on call this holiday weekend, and I'm certainly starting to see more people being hospitalized, mainly with COVID.
Dr. Kristen England with Cleveland Clinic says it's not too late to protect you and your family through vaccination. More than a third of adults and children have gotten a flu shot this year. When it comes to the new COVID-19 vaccine, nearly 16% of adults and just over 6% of children have gotten it, and nearly 15% of adults ages 60 and up have gotten the new RSV vaccine.
Vaccinations will always be the key way to prevent the transmission of any of these respiratory viral illnesses.
Dr. England added, if you think you may have contracted COVID-19, you should take an at-home test and take precautionary measures to avoid spreading the virus. That includes staying home and masking up when you do need to go out in public. Still ahead on your morning news, a new weight loss drug is outperforming Ozempic in helping patients lose weight. We'll tell you what it is ahead. And charities are trying to drum up support for end-of-the-year donations. After the break, we'll have a few tips that can help you spot the real charity websites from the scammers. That and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Our next story is out of this world. Scientists are announcing the discovery of a new supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy. The black hole called Sagittarius A is spinning so fast it's altering space-time around it. That's according to a study published in October by the Royal Astronomical Society. Space-time is the 4-dimensional continuum that describes how we see outer space. Scientists discovered Sagittarius A using NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory telescope. It's about 26,000 light years from Earth. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Well, we got a nice clear start this morning with temperatures mainly into the 20s, as you can see there behind me. It's 20 degrees now in La Crosse, 22 in Eau Claire, 23 towards the west in Winona, but Black River Falls, Sparta into Viroqua, you're all looking at temperature readings this morning well into the teens. Now, a much more milder day is in store across the area, as highs will be well into the mid-40s all around La Crosse County, 44 in many spots there, including La Crosse and Onalaska. Moving south into Viroqua, you'll be looking at a high of 42 degrees today, 44 in La Crescent, 45 in Stoddard, also into New Albin and Lansing here today. As we move north into Blair, you'll be at 42, Arcadia at 43 today, 41 in Osseo, and a high of 43 in both Black River Falls and in the Melrose area today. But meanwhile, a little cooler towards the Chippewa Valley. Your highs today will be into the upper 30s and low 40s. Eau Claire, you're looking mostly sunny today with a high of 39 degrees. Heading off to the bus stop this morning, 23 degrees will be our temperature underneath clear skies on the way back home from school. It will still remain sunny, temperatures much milder at 42. I'll have a check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes.
In your consumer news this morning, a new study is showing that new weight loss drug Mounjaro is actually more effective than Ozempic. That study found users of Mounjaro lost more weight than users of Ozempic. Both drugs are prescribed to treat type 2 diabetes, but have also become popular for their weight loss potential. The study focused on 18,000 people who take the drugs. It has not yet been peer-reviewed or published in a journal. Southwest Airlines pilots are preparing for a potential strike right ahead of the Christmas travel season. The pilots are establishing regional strike centers to get ready. That development comes amid ongoing contract negotiations between the airline and its pilots. According to organizers, Southwest pilots are flying under a contract that expired in September of 2020. The Southwest Airlines Pilot Association says it's looking for a new contract with better benefits along with disability coverage. A federal judge has paved the way for the government to propose new restrictions on how Meta can use personal data. That decision allows the Federal Trade Commission to ban the social media giant from profiting off of the data it collects from minors under the age of 18. With this ruling, the agency could force Facebook and Instagram parent Meta to halt the rollout of any new products or services until an audit shows the company is complying with privacy obligations. Giving Tuesday was yesterday, and it's a major booster to organizations who try to drum up end-of-the-year donations. Some charities are also encouraging people to donate online, but scammers are also taking advantage of the donation boost. Karen Kafa has a few tips on how you can spot the real charity websites and tell them apart from the scammers.
Amid the bustle of holiday shopping and spending, it's also a good time of year to give back. Unfortunately, scammers will deploy common tricks to take advantage of the busy season.
There's so many things that we interact with online and things that we do online, and that goes for both work and personal life, that, there are a lot of ways to get people to act.
Hank Schless of cybersecurity company Lookout says phishing scams, emails or text messages encouraging a recipient to follow a link to a fake website that looks like the real deal can prompt a consumer to give away critical information like logins and passwords.
Once they steal that, they'll go and they have these programs that can automatically try your credentials across thousands of other websites, including, banking websites and things like that.
As Americans make end-of-year online donations to support causes and groups, the Federal Trade Commission warns scammers often put pressure on consumers to donate right away, often using the name of a group that seems legitimate to cause confusion. Before giving, seek out websites that evaluate charities like the Better Business Bureau's Give.org, or check a charity's standing with the IRS. And use a credit card or check for donations. The FTC says asking for cash or gift cards can be signs of a scam.
The FTC also says you should immediately report the scam to them. And if you've paid a scammer, you need to contact your bank or credit card company and report the transaction as fraudulent. If you've paid with cash, the FTC also says you should call the U.S. Postal Inspection Service at the number you see on your screen. That does it for your morning consumer news. It is 6:17. Time to check in with Derek for a look at today's forecast.
All right, thanks for that, Alexandra. We're looking at clear skies here this morning and not as cold either, as our temperatures are currently into the 20s, 20 degrees to be exact now in La Crosse, but it feels like it's 10 degrees there, as you can see, when you factor in the south wind at around 8 miles an hour here this morning. Meanwhile, in Eau Claire, you're at 22 degrees. Clear skies here. Feels like 16, though, as you can see, when you factor in the southwest winds now picking up just a little bit to about 5 miles an hour now. Clear skies all across the area. Temperatures well into the 20s. We're seeing some readings all into the teens off towards the Black River Falls, Sparta, Viroqua, and also into the Boscobel areas here this morning. Let's take a look now at your planner. Start off with clear skies, 23 degrees here in the next hour, 40 degrees and sunny by noon today, 39 and partly cloudy at 4 o'clock. And then by 8 o'clock this evening, we'll be at partly cloudy skies, temperatures at around 32. With our forecast high temperatures today, mainly into the 40s, a little cooler towards the north in the Chippewa Valley, but La Crosse today, you're looking at a high of around 44 degrees. Those clear skies will continue not just now, but also through all of the morning hours and into the early afternoon, but probably by the time we reach 6 p.m. is when we start to see some increasing clouds out ahead of this next disturbance, which is going to bring us a cold front here as well to work with. That cold front will be just positioned to our west as we head into overnight, just after midnight tonight or so. It's forecast to move into the Coulee region and pass through as we head into tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. We could be looking at some lingering clouds in the wake of that frontal disturbance, though, as we head into tomorrow afternoon and also into tomorrow evening here, too. We're also expecting a cool down. Not so much tomorrow. Our highs will be around 44, but we will be looking at some cooler temperatures, though, as we head into Friday with a high of 37. Also under mainly cloudy skies there, and we're looking at a slight chance of snow, maybe some flurries at least as we head into this weekend with highs into the upper 30s to low 40s. And speaking of highs in the upper 30s, that's in the forecast as we head into the first half of next week there. Monday through Wednesday under partly cloudy and seasonable conditions. Our lows will be mainly into the 20s. I'll have much more coming up in just a little bit. Alexandra?
All right, Derek, thank you. Still ahead on your morning news, the Green Bay Packers made a visit to Fort McCoy to assist with the base's Challenge Academy. News 8's Shaquille Davis has the story for us when we come back.
The mission to Madison begins now. Many of our boys' basketball teams tipping off the regular season last night. Riverhawks looking for a big win at home. I'll have the highlights coming up on the Blitz. Welcome to the Blitz. The mission to Madison begins now. Many of our boys' basketball teams tipping off the regular season last night. For the Central boys basketball team, the Riverhawks made it to the state tournament back in March. They were looking to start this season off with a win at home. Let's go to Central High. Riverhawks ready to go, taking on Eau Claire North. Pick it up early second half. Central up 12 and adding to it off the miss. It's Dane Axness with the board and the bucket. Riverhawks extend their lead to 14. Then later in the half, Axness again, cleaning up the mess. Another putback for the senior. Home team up 16 and Axness doing it all. Look at the footwork from the big man. It's 45-27. Riverhawks not slowing down one bit. Nice ball movement. Leads to this corner three from Frankie Wilk. 19-point lead for Central. Huskies making a run, though. Tyler Johnson's strong drive and finish off the glass. That cuts it to 15. Then it's Tyler Barrows at the top of the key, knocking down the three. It's a 12-point game. North still clawing back. Again, it's Johnson taking it straight to the cup. Off the window for two more. Huskies cut it to 10, but the Riverhawks pull away. Marshawn Baisley, smooth finish at the rim. Riverhawks go up 12. Then it's Henry Meyer. Nice find to Noah Dingle for the score. Riverhawks open the season with the win at home, 66-53. Over to Onalaska we go. Hilltoppers taking on Menominee. Hilltoppers get it going early. Noah Chenault slings it down to Isaac Skemp for the quick two. Menominee would respond, though. Isaac Ellison drives and gets it to go, plus the foul. But on the other end, it's the Chenault-Skemp connection again, this time from downtown. And Chenault dishing it to everyone last night, this time to Brody Mitchell, who drives and gets the roll, plus the foul. Hilltoppers get out of there with a win, 74-53. Over to Luther we go. They hang the state banner from a year ago. Down to the court we go. Both teams lighting it up from downtown. Owen Lawden starts things off by firing from deep. Look at that, doesn't even touch the rim as it goes through. But then it was a Sinclair Bias show. He would launch it from the wing, and he would connect, giving the Knights a 6-point lead, but he was just getting warmed up. Next possession, Bias again, same spot, same result. Luther would extend its lead. You thought he was done? He wasn't. Bias again, bang, back-to-back triples. He was feeling it, and there was no stopping the Knights after that. Luther gets the win, 76-65. Let's go to Bangor. Cardinals at home playing host to GET. Picked this one up in the first half. Redhawks with the ball. Taylor Haney in the corner drains the triple. GET goes up by 2. Other end of the court, beautiful pass to Lucas Horman down low for 2. But the Redhawks respond, and if you don't know the name, you do now. Cody Schmitz picking up where he left off last season. The senior knocking down back-to-back threes, and GET starts pulling away. Braden Anabas pulling up from deep. Redhawks take an 18-point lead, and Schmitz showing off the entire skill set last night, throwing down the two-handed jam. Redhawks open the season with a big win on the road, 74-57. Bucks in a battle with the Heat in Miami. Milwaukee down 3 late. Giannis can't get this 3 to fall, but the Bucks get a second chance. Damian Lillard takes full advantage of it. He rattles it home. We're tied at 118. Less than a minute to go now. Bucks pulling away. Great pass. Chris Middleton to Brook Lopez. He rocks the rim. Bucks go up 5. And Milwaukee gets it done on the road. Bucks get the win 131-124. They clinch the top spot in the knockout stage of the in-season tournament. Wolves at home looking for a win over OKC. Minnesota up 2 with less than 2 to go. Troy Brown Jr. comes up big. That 3 puts the Wolves up 5. Thunder storming back, though. 30 seconds to go. Chet Holmgren knocks down the 3. That makes it a 2-point game. Let's fast forward. 4 seconds left now. Wolves up 3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can't get this one to fall. Minnesota survives at home. Wolves hang on for the win, 106-103. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
Welcome back. The Green Bay Packers are taking a timeout from prepping for the Chiefs to make a special appearance at the Challenge Academy at Fort McCoy. That's a 22-and-a-half-week program for teens ages 16 to 18 who are struggling to hit the right notes and graduate high school. News 8 Now's Shaquille Davis shows us how these students are getting schooled by some all-star players.
Your definition of success is not the same as your definition of success, so don't allow other people's dreams and, the way that they live their life to change what you feel about yourself and the goals that you're trying to aspire to reach.
The Wisconsin Challenge Academy is a place where young men and women get assistance in reaching their full potential.
But they have to want to come here and make the change in their lives to get their high school diploma.
That change starts with help and guidance. Today, that guidance is coming from people who do their work on a gridiron.
These kids here are a great inspiration to us as Packers, and it's very exciting to be here because if we didn't make the trip, we wouldn't have known at all this was going on, and just the impact that Challenge Academy is making for these kids.
Anders Carlson is used to being efficient, as shown by this 57-yard field goal he made this past preseason. That is why he preached consistency when he was able to share wisdom.
We get so much done for us that, we forget the consistency that it took to get where we are. And so it's kind of one of those things you come back with a little perspective for your own life. And man, I hope they did learn from us, but we definitely learned from them.
The director of the Challenge Academy, Joni Matthews, admits that this day was a surprise for the kids to raise their enjoyment. But the cadets weren't the only ones with smiles on their faces.
I feel like a little kid. I'm a Packer fan, and it's great just being with them.
Safety Zane Anderson admits to being slightly nervous, but the kids made it all the more comfortable.
I didn't know what I was getting into today. I would say that I think it was cool that these kids wanted to be here. I wasn't expecting that, but they enjoyed being here. They enjoyed the growth that they've had, and it's been cool.
For Cadet Mikael Meeks, this day showed him a brighter future.
Just to see other people as leaders, such as people in the NFL who made their dreams come true, it just amazing to see that if you push and strive, you can always meet your goal.
Ellis Merriweather shares his thoughts on what he learned today.
Some people just go through different struggles and, might have been brought up a certain way that might not have been conducive to success or their success, and just allowing each other to not be so judgmental and coming together, as people.
In Sparta, Shaquille Davis, News 8 Now.
For Tomah area organizations have been given more than $1 million in donations. The recipients include Tomah Health Hospice, Touch and Palliative Care, the Tomah Public Library, and Chasing Daylight Animal Shelter. The money was donated by active Tomah community members John and Velda Felton. The trust went to organizations the Feltons were passionate about in hopes of enhancing them for future generations.
This family believed in healthcare and the importance of it in our community, and have made a major contribution to allow us to continue to offer access to quality healthcare close to home.
Most of the recipients were selected by Velda herself, who was a big supporter of hospice care, the library, and animals. From animal shelters to food banks, nonprofits across our area participated in Giving Tuesday yesterday, including the Coulee Region Humane Society. Community Engagement Coordinator Erin Olson says giving is critical for the animal shelter. She says the money helps with things like medical needs and its spay-neuter assistance program. Olson says there are other ways, look at that cat, other nonprofits can benefit from giving.
Giving Tuesday is a great way for any nonprofit or place that receives donations to be able to reach out to their community and ask for support. And it's just a wonderful way to highlight the work that we do here at the shelter and give people opportunities to support what we do.
Olson says the Coulee Region Humane Society hasn't set a specific goal, but the animal shelter is grateful for anything that comes in. The results are in for this year's iFeed Food Drive. The one-day event has local high school Interact clubs work with community members to help alleviate hunger in the world as well as the local community. The nonprofit received $3,300 and about 4 tons of food. The executive director says the money will be used to buy perishable food items like meat and fresh vegetables. And speaking of giving, you can help us make a difference in the community as well. This Friday is News 8 Now's annual Joy of Sharing at the Onalaska Festival Foods. We'll be collecting food donations for the Hunger Task Force. It's a free and local food bank that works to eliminate hunger in La Crosse. Although hunger in the area is an ongoing issue, it's especially trying for families during the cold winter months.
This time of year is when the need is always the highest. It's getting colder out and people are making those decisions whether they're going to pay their heat bill or feed their families. I mean, those are tough decisions.
The Hunger Task Force will accept all non-perishable food items, but this year they are especially needing peanut butter and tuna. News 8 Now will be accepting your donations at the Festival Foods in Onalaska Friday from 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. We'll also be collecting unwrapped new toys for tots and taking cash donations for the Salvation Army. Seniors looking to strengthen their community connections through friendship or a romantic relationship attended a senior speed dating event at UWL yesterday. The event was hosted by UWL's professor of sociology along with her students. It offers older adults a fun and lively way to meet like-minded singles, whether they're seeking a companion, friend, or a soulmate. The goal is to help older adults expand their social circles and forge meaningful relationships.
There are dating sites, etc., but they cater typically to younger people, and there just aren't as many sort of natural opportunities to get out and meet people close to your age when you're older.
Norris says they plan to host similar events in the future. It is 6:36. Here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, Alexandra. We're starting off on a clear sky this morning for that morning commute, but you might want to scrape off some of that frost that developed perhaps on your windshield and the side there because we did have a little bit of moisture here overnight, and that did condense into some frost as temperatures are below freezing out there. Now we will be turning milder, but still sunny as we head towards the lunch hour. Cloudy skies, though, as we head closer towards the evening commute. Current temperatures right now, as I mentioned, below freezing. We're looking at temperature readings well into the 20s. Even some spots towards the east are into the the teens this morning, but at least we're looking clear though at the moment. Just looking at some patchy areas of some frost though. 44 degrees, mostly sunny, much milder today. West winds very light at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Heading into tonight, temperatures drop to 27 degrees under partly cloudy skies. A little bit seasonable though with temperatures across the area. South-southwest winds pretty light at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now stay tuned. I have a final check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes, and we'll talk about this next cold front that is coming and this next cool down that may come along with it as well. Also coming up in our Buzz Report, a new movie with Lakeith Stanfield imagines what would happen if somebody tried to copy Jesus during his life. We'll take a look at the Book of Clarence in just a bit. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Skies are looking nice and clear this morning, but you may run to a little bit of some patchy morning frost out there. I know I had to scrape a little bit off that my windshield this morning, so might want to give yourself some extra time. We had a little bit of moisture here overnight along with a clear sky, along with temperatures below freezing, and that's definitely a good recipe for some frost formation. 20 degrees is our temperature now with south winds at around 8 miles an hour, and that's helping to make our wind chill values make our temperatures feel like it's 10 degrees, but even though the actual temperature in La Crosse is currently at 20, slightly warmer in Eau Claire, you're at 22 degrees with clear skies, but it feels like 16 when you factor in the southwest wind currently blowing sustained at 5 miles an hour. Clear skies just about everywhere across the Coulee region this morning with temperatures into the 20s mainly, but there are some locations like Black River Falls, Sparta, Volkfield, into Viroqua and Boscobel that are currently into the teens here this morning. Your day planner looks like this. Sunshine at 40 degrees at noon today, partly cloudy with temperatures at 40 at 4 o'clock, and then by 8 o'clock we'll be at partly cloudy with temperatures dropping to that freezing mark of 32 degrees. Our forecast highs today across the Coulee region are much more milder for this time of the year and a lot warmer compared to the last several days here as well. This time we got highs well into the 40s, as you can see there behind me, except the upper 30s north into the Chippewa Valley this afternoon here today. So we are going to be looking at those clear skies continuing across the Coulee region throughout the morning and also into much of the afternoon as well. We are watching a bit of a disturbance, though, that's going to move in. That could help increase the cloud cover as we head into this evening and also into portions of tonight as well. Out ahead of this frontal disturbance back towards the west, which is forecast to develop and move into our direction. It should pass through the Coulee region as we head into tomorrow morning, just after sunrise around 9 o'clock or so. And we will be looking at some leftover clouds associated with that frontal disturbance as well as it continues to move away from us. And then by tomorrow evening, just a few leftover clouds there in the wake of that front. Here's a check now on your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we do have similar high temperatures in the forecast tomorrow, high of 44 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We're going to be looking at some cooler air moving in, though, with highs dropping to 37 under mostly cloudy skies for your Friday. A chance of some flurries, maybe some snow showers as we head into this weekend with highs into the 30s and 40s there. And we're going to be looking at highs into the upper 30s for the first half of next week, Monday through Wednesday, which is a lot more seasonable for this time of the year under partly cloudy skies. Low temperatures will be mainly in the 20s.
In our Morning Buzz report, Sean Diddy Combs is stepping down as CEO of Revolt. That move comes as the rapper and fashion mogul struggles to respond to sexual assault allegations. Diddy co-founded Revolt in 2013. It's a platform that focuses on Black storytelling. The company says Combs' resignation will help ensure it stays focused on its mission. Diddy has been accused of sexual assault in 3 recent lawsuits. He is denying all of those allegations. Alicia Keys is celebrating the 20th anniversary of her Grammy-winning album, The Diary of Alicia Keys. The singer will hold a special show to mark the occasion on Friday in New York. Although the concert is sold out, Keys is streaming the performance live on Veeps.com. The Diary of Alicia Keys sold 8 million albums when it was released in 2003.
My uncle talks about you a lot. My dad and I were maybe thinking you could care for him during the day. All you'd have to do is be there and go on walks and stuff. Why did you follow me home from the party? Or do you only remember when it's convenient?
I don't remember.
That was a quick look at Memory. The drama is about a social worker whose life is turned upside down when a former classmate follows her home from a class reunion. The film is directed by Michael Franco and stars Jessica Chastain and Peter Skarsgård. It is out on December 22nd.
I need to figure out what inspires him. I can just replicate what he does. Imagine the money people will give us. Hallelujah.
That was from the trailer for The Book of Clarence. That film tells the story of a man named Clarence who lives in Jerusalem at the same time as Jesus. In an effort to find fame and fortune, Clarence starts claiming to be another Messiah. The comedy drama epic stars Lakeith Stanfield, Omar Sy, and James McAvoy. The Book of Clarence comes out on January 12th. And before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
Yeah, we got some birthdays to celebrate for you. We're starting off with Juliet, who is turning 8 days old today. Now, she loves to eat, sleep, and snuggle up with her people.
No, as she's doing right there. So sweet.
Good.
We have Ryan turning 8 years old today. He loves to ride his dirt bike and hang out with his little sister.
Rosemary is turning 88 years old today. Now, she loves to feed both the birds and squirrels and loves getting the daily Wordle and loves her 3 kids. She's got 8 grandkids and 2 great-grandkids as well.
Wow, happy birthday. Yeah, she's got a lot of kids to keep up with. And if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we would love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website. It's news8000.com and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Welcome back. It's 6:51. Time for your Morning News Now. A Chippewa Falls man will return to court in the new year to face multiple felony charges in connection with a violent January home invasion. 20-year-old Jeremiah Mackey is charged with armed robbery with use of force, false imprisonment, and substantial battery for allegedly joining another man and breaking into a Chippewa Falls apartment. In court yesterday, a judge ruled there is probable cause to support those felony accusations against Mackey, who prosecutors say acted as a party to the crime. He'll return to court January 31st. La Crosse's former bishop is at odds with the Pope. Pope Francis is stripping Cardinal Raymond Burke of his Vatican apartment and salary. The Pope says the 75-year-old Burke is working against the unity of the church. Burke has been one of the Pope's most vocal critics since 2014. They clashed over Francis's outreach to LGBTQ+ Catholics and the Pope's support of COVID vaccines and Catholics divorcing and remarrying. Burke declined to make a statement. Western Technical College students, staff, and parents, a change is coming your way starting this summer. The school is moving from 15-week semesters to accelerated 7-week terms. The revamped schedule will allow WTC students to concentrate on just 2 or 3 classes at a time instead of juggling a course load of 5 or 6. WTC has spent more than 2 years preparing for this shift, working to revise every class to fit the new 7-week model. There will be 6 intensive terms per academic year, 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring, and 2 over the summer. Seniors looking to strengthen their community connections through friendship or a romantic relationship attended a senior speed dating event at UWL yesterday. The event was hosted by UWL's professor of sociology along with her students. It offered older adults a fun and lively way to meet like-minded singles, whether they're seeking a companion, friend, or soulmate. The goal is to help older adults expand their social circles and forge meaningful relationships.
There are dating sites, etc., but they cater typically to younger people, and there just aren't as many sort of natural opportunities to get out and meet people close to your age when you're older.
Nora says they plan to host similar events in the future. And speaking of giving, you can help us make a difference in the community. This Friday is News 8 Now's annual Joy of Sharing at the Onalaska Festival of Foods. We'll be collecting food donations for the Hunger Task Force. It's a free and local food bank that works to eliminate hunger in La Crosse. Although hunger in the area is an ongoing issue, it's especially trying for families during the cold winter months.
This time of year is when the need is always the highest. It's getting colder out and people are making those decisions whether they're going to pay their heat bill or feed their families. I mean, those are tough decisions.
The Hunger Task Force will accept all non-perishable food items, but this year they are in particular need of peanut butter and tuna. News 8 Now will be accepting your donations at the Festival Foods Inn on Alaska Friday from 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. We'll also be collecting unwrapped new toys for Toys for Tots and taking cash donations for the Salvation Army.
And as you head out the door this morning, our temperatures are not as cold as previous days. We're currently waking up to readings into the 20s under clear skies, but you could run into some frost out there. I had to scrape my windshield this morning on my way to work. Yeah, but late, at least our temperatures this afternoon will be into the 40s underneath for those clear skies, and not as chilly either. Highs in the 40s again tomorrow, partly cloudy. Mostly cloudier conditions for your Friday with temperatures cooler at 37. Could be running into maybe some flurries, a little bit of snow perhaps on this weekend with highs in the 30s and 40s. Keep your eyes on that.
So give yourself some extra time this morning to scrape those windshields.
Yeah, definitely.
And now that you may have been previously taught that a meteorite was the primary cause for the extinction of the dinosaurs, but a new study may suggest otherwise. An international study published in Science Advances looked at samples of rocks that came from a rugged plateau in western India. They found both sulfur and fluorine from volcanic eruptions estimated to be from 200,000 years prior to the dino downfall. Researchers say the amount of sulfur released by the eruptions may have caused a global drop in temperatures or a volcanic winter. They also say the difficulties the plants and animals would have been through during the volcanic winter could have helped set the stage for the inevitable dinosaur extinction.
Oh, I feel like we're just never going to stop learning about the prehistoric years.
Right, yeah,
know?
so interesting, all
Very
the
fascinating.
discoveries, with modern science and stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much for watching News 8 Now this morning. We will see you back here at noon. Have a great day, and don't forget to keep up with news of the day on news8000.com.